It's a big production, boy.
And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. Give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last.
Long live the king. Fear God and keep his commandments. Casket drop. Yahoo! Check your emotions at the door. Get out your listen to this gospel like you never heard before. Pastors out here telling folks lies, better not bump into us. Naysaying claim the law's done away, but we calling your bluff. Love and gold increases evil. Don't be consumed by your business. Out here trying to make money, but is you trying to make a difference? We never stop being slaves, souls in danger of the pit. Making the Forbes list, mistaken for being rich. This foolishness we call music is just useless mind pollution. True trap meant to send a shock to you like electrocution. Help clear up the confusion, leave people with no delusion. For my niggas in institutions via the prosecution.
The second coming, you better get it right. The second coming, you better fall in line. The Alpha Omega, he's coming. The Alpha Omega, he's coming. The second coming, you better get it right. The second coming, you better fall in line. The Alpha Omega, he's coming. The Alpha Omega, he's coming.
Say, tell them to find faith. Trust in the Lord and whatever my guys say. Created by the king, not evolved for no primates. It's a higher conscious of thinking. Not a line we find place. Niggas start getting chipped and ain't nobody job safe. So just stick to the script and otherwise you're not safe. Gotta stay straight and narrow and watch for the odd way. Watch for the fiery arrows and constantly to God pray. Streets been on the blaze, need a spiritual hydrate. Real dying with honor and others they died fake. Rather buried in his word than eternally cremated. So it's forever I serve and do what my king say.
The second coming, you better get it right. The second coming, you better fall in line. The Alpha Omega, he's coming. The Alpha.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank y'all for being patient. Stephen Colbert was a little bit too much for the algorithms to deal with, but I believe both of you guys got a chance to see most of what the point of what we were trying to make of white privilege and heathenology. And these patriots, these guys that feel as though they can do this, they are thinking that they are being these Americans. But as we said, these people have done this before. The coming together and destroying someone's capital to erect their nation, that's happened. They did that many times. They did it to us, right? But they were together then. They weren't together on January 6th. So when Stephen Colbert is pointing at these people and saying, you know better, like, man, look, we got a nation. We ain't supposed to be doing this no more. We're going to wind up having to go back up under these people rule. If our nation falls, right? I mean, think about it. Hold up, they kicked me out again. If the United States fall, these people like the Stephen Colbert's on the other side, they know that because they play this game. They play the game of you win, you enslave. They know that if they mess this thing up that they created, that they got to go into slavery to one of their brothers, their cousins, because all of them are connected, European nations or China. They know this. So they're telling these heathenologies, these white privilege, to cool it. They can make jokes about him asking for organic food and him get organic food in jail when he tried to take over the entire, where he was part of a revolution to tear down the nation. They're giving him organic food. See, American Native of America originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Europeans, their cousins. Don't ever forget that that's their people, that they are confederate against us. They didn't come here and put Plymouth Rock on our neck by themselves. And those Japhet people, they were called the heathens that our Creator said that He will put as before us, a nation we never knew. Deuteronomy 28. So, as we're going to read Daniel prophecies, and when Daniel speaks of that he-goat, when he speaks about I had it up here, my he-goat. I don't want y'all to think that we're not going to have a picture of what a he-goat is up here tonight, because we got to make sure we got the imagery clear on who their God is. This is their God that they are paying homage to. And Daniel prophesied of these heathens, these particular heathens. Where is it at? They're trying to hold back. Oh, there it went. The witch goat. Which one of them? Oh, y'all don't want to show it to me? Y'all just gave it to me. Oh, that was it. The witch's Sabbath. So this is their he-goats. This is their God, the he-goat. This is their God. When Daniel says that the he-goat of Grecia comes in and hits the ram, that's one is Media and Persia, which we know from that to be Media Persia, right? Then his dream says that the Grecian, the he-goat of Greece, comes and knocks out the ram. That one horn is Persia and the other is Media, Madai, right? I don't like the fact that I did not give you guys a good picture, because there's a particular he-goat that I want, and that's the I know y'all may not want to see all these pictures of these he-goats, but this is what they call, this is their God, a half man, half goat. That's what I'm looking for. Which is Sabbath. The witch's Sabbath is the he-goat that they have been worshiping. This is the imagery and what they were representing and worshiping prior to they falling into Christianity, prior to them coming to the Americas, prior to them being civilized by the scripture, by the word, by the law of the Phoenicians that were in the Levant, of the Hebrews of Lebanon, the Hebrews of Yasharallah, and of the southern kingdom of Yahudah, the royal class. These heathens we have been fighting, and the Most High, because we have turned away from Him, and only because we turned away from Him, did He allow these nations, these people that we knew not, that we had no dealings with, that believed in their he-goat, their Pan, their Pi, their Cain, their Zeuses. All their imagery goes back to this to the he-goat. So let's go with our Daniel 9 and get this prophecy fulfilled. Because in Daniel 9, we are going. Man say, yeah, I can give you Daniel. Oh, you want a Daniel 9? Well, you got to put 9 in there, sir. Well, fine, sir. All right. So as we are looking at Daniel, and we're going to have our precept. Oh, Facebook kicked me out. Let's see what we got going. So, yeah, Baphomet. Yes, my brother Rob, Baphomet. So we are connecting what, as my sister was discussing today, the symbols, right? The white power symbols. Well, their white power is they are supernatural beings too. Just like we are praying to the Most High for supernatural covering, they're praying to their supernatural entity, which is the Baphomet. We are in the winter solstice. Everything is connected to their tetragrammaton, which is the pendulum, the pentagram upside down when they flip it back up. So Daniel, all the way back, remember Daniel was living in 620 BC. He died in 620 BC, as a matter of fact, right? Daniel was born in 540 BC. So there was no such thing as black and white. There was no white privilege. It was heathens, and it was the ones that followed the Most High. So in his Daniel's vision, because Daniel was being taken into Babylon in captivity by the Medes and the Persians. So have that in your understanding that Daniel is serving the ram. As he's having this dream about the ram getting kicked out, he's presently serving in the kingdom of that ram. So it says, in the first year of Darius, the son of Ashura, the seed of the Medes, right, the Mediah, which was made king over the realm of Chaldeans. Now remember you now Nebuchadnezzar and his son Belshazzar, these were Persians. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, stood by books the number of years whereof the word of the Most High came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in desolation of Jerusalem. So Daniel saying, while he's in this captivity of this ram of this Mede and Persia Media dynasty, that he understood the books of that were left behind for him by the prophets. And one particular book of prophecy that he was studying was the book of Jeremiah. So understand that when Daniel gets this vision, he's already in meditation on Jeremiah, the prophet, in his book of 70 years. Because Jeremiah died in 650 AD. So he died 30 years after, 30 years before. He died 30 years before Daniel. All right. So Daniel, he's reading the prophecies of a prophet that was in Yehuda at the time, that was in Judah. Daniel's in Babylon. So he's reading the books of Jeremiah, and he said, I understand the prophecy that was in those books. He said, and I set my face unto the Most High to seek a prayer of supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. All through the visions that Daniel, all through with Daniel, book of Daniel, he's fasting. He's either fasting in captivity to prove that they should not eat the foods and ensure that they're set apart. He's fasting to understand the dreams. He's fasting for himself. So he said, I set my face unto the Most High to seek by prayer and supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed unto the Most High. and made my confession and said, O Allahaya, the great and dreadful Allahaya, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him and to them that keep his commandments. So Daniel has been fasting. He's walking into this and he's letting the Most High know that you are great and terrible, that you can lift me or you can destroy me. But you are also the one that keeps this covenant of mercy. I'm walking up to the big bad guy. But hey, remember, big bad guy, you believe in mercy. You keeping this covenant, right? For the one that love you. And hey, I love you so much that I am sacrificing food. And I keep my commandments. So I'm sacrificing what others are doing in this world and doing what I know is righteous and right for me under your commandments. He says, we have sinned and have committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts, from thy judgments. So when we say that Most High is putting a scripture that when you are reading, right, that if there's a prophecy in there, you should be able to see two precepts to it. So the precepts usually are warnings to the judgment. The precepts are the warnings. So here Daniel was saying, we've even ignored your warnings. We've ignored your buffers, right? You said that we need to be loving to each other. You said we need to watch our tongue with each other. We need to do all these things, right? To be in righteousness, to be in the right spirit of him, right? Before that slippery slopes. Before that slippery slope brings us to your judgment. He said, we ignore all of those warning signs. We ignore all those signals in the highway. Yes, we have rebelled. Yes, we have done wickedly, and we have not listened to your warnings of your judgment. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants, the prophets, which spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. So Daniel is coming to the Most High in supplication. What is his supplication? He is admitting all that us as a nation have done and transgressed. Not coming to him saying, can you save us? He's like, this, we know I am coming unto you in supplication, saying that I am clear that I walked away from you. I'm not questioning. I'm not questioning how we did it, or if we should have did it, or telling you that, hey, we were under duress, we were under attack. They had people at my house that wanted me to take the vaccine. There was this, there was that. I was afraid somebody wasn't gonna like me anymore. I was afraid that somebody wasn't gonna tell me they loved me anymore. I was afraid that somebody was gonna storm out the house on me. I was afraid that somebody was gonna tell me I couldn't live here. No, the Most High says, I don't want to hear none of the reasons that made you do something stupid. I could care less. I know you got a plethora of reasons why you felt as though you needed to succumb to your iniquity. So when Daniel is coming unto the Most High, he's putting forth and saying, yes, we have taken every excuse we can. We have not hearkened, but not only have we not done that, but we have not even listened to the men that you have ordained, that you did great things through to let us know that they were your ambassadors. And yes, your ambassadors spoke to our kings and our princes. And it says 7, O Most High, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces. As at this day, saying up until now, we're still confused, to the men of Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all of Yasharallah that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither you have driven them because of their trespasses that they have trespassed against thee. So he's saying, Daniel's saying, even in our disbursement, even in our captivity, I am working under the king of now the Medes, because I have been like a slave just given to the king of the next person as a gift, because I'm a slave. He said, even in our slavery, even in all these things going bad, we don't acknowledge the fact that it is you that has us here. We don't acknowledge that the prophets told us that this was coming, because we're not repenting and coming into you. But I am, Daniel saying, but I am. I am most certainly fasting and coming into supplication unto you because of your righteousness. So now, he says, O Most High, to us belongeth confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. To the Most High, our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Only our Most High is going to give us our mercy and our forgiveness. No man, no government, as you saw with, as you saw with the Stephen Colbert clip, that these people will kill their own. They will cuddle their own. They will come in confederate together, but with one goal: to give you no mercy, to give you no righteousness. As I told you, the guy that did the little documentary said, well, when my government didn't hear my vote and the government didn't hear my protest, well, we had to storm the Capitol because that was the only next logical thing. Well, no, the logical thing is to pray unto the Most High to bring them down, because as a people of a chosen seed, as my brother Adam put up there earlier, we know that if we would have done that, we would have been met with gunfire. We would have been killed on the lawn. And then it would have been martial law, and every black person, not the members and friends of the people that went through there and were killed, but every black person would have been seen as a threat and would have been put into FEMA camps immediately. And we all, as melanated people, know that. So we don't have that route. Our route is Daniel's route. Our route is supplication unto our Father, because he is the only mercy. He is the only forgiveness. We don't have the right of the Baphomet. The Baphomet plays by a different rule. That is heathen business. It does not apply to us, their rules, nor regulations, nor their kindness. Nor their kindness. Ye, all of Yasharallah has transgressed the law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servants of the Most High, because the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us, and against our judges that judge us, by bringing upon us great evil. For under the whole heaven had not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem. So what is he talking about? Nothing has been done like was done unto Jerusalem. Well, in the beginning, he referenced Jeremiah. And he said that in Jeremiah, you spoke of the 70 years. Well, let us go to Jeremiah for our precept right here. We're going to start at 5. He said, they said, turn ye again now, every one from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Most High hath given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. So this is before they get taken into exile. This is before they're taken into prison, right? So this is a little tricky. You realize that Jeremiah was before the captivity, right? Jeremiah was speaking to Judah right at the last days before they were taken over into captivity. Now, Daniel was born right at the time of that. At 15, he's fully that because parts of were taken into exile already. Ezekiel was taken in. When Daniel was taken in, it was when Jerusalem fell and the city, the actual temple, and they took the house of David and brought to be captives or be servants for the king Nebuchadnezzar. So what you have is Jeremiah telling them about a prophecy that was spanned past, that was spanned all the way through to Daniel's prophecies. Because Daniel, as he's in captivity, says, I'm reading the scrolls of Jeremiah. And I understand what the 70 years meant by it. But Daniel was living in the 70 years of the Jeremiah prophecy. I know it's tricky, right? Daniel was living in the 70 years of the prophecy that Jeremiah had prophesied until Cyrus would come in and take over the Medes. Right? So here we go. So this is Jeremiah telling all of Judah, you still got time before this prophecy comes to fruition, man. Turn away from your evil ways. Before these pestilence and these curses come, turn away from your own ways. And then 6 it says, and go not after other gods and serve them and to worship them and provoke me not to anger with thy works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. It's coming from the Most High to Jeremiah directly to them. If you just turn and repent, just like my young warrior today, Jordan said, like the people of Nineveh, if you would just repent and put sackcloth and be in supplication, and Daniel just showed us what supplication is, admitting our sins, admitting the fact that we walked away from him, admitting the fact that we have fallen prey to liking the things of this heathen world, that we thought that we could be heathen. You know, like the Ice Age movie, right? When Queen Latifah is she is a woolly mammoth, but she's walking with the weasels, and she's now hanging in a tree like the weasels because she was raised with weasels, and that's what weasels do. And as the weasels told her, no, you got to know who you are, right? Isaiah telling to Logan, right? That's what Queen Latifah told him, right? You got to be a woolly mammoth. That's what you are. You got to save us because they didn't have the power. Even though they were making her think that she was one of them and they were leading her, they always knew that they needed her power to save them when the times got hard. It's the same thing right now. We have been in captivity doing their thing. So, as Daniel said, and as we will do when we are in our fasting and coming unto the Father, we admit the fact that we've been acting like weasels. We've been following heathens when we are the woolly mammoth, when we have the scepter as Judah, when we have the law, and everyone is to follow the law and follow us. Then you realize who you are and your power. So then it goes to 8. Therefore, thus said the Most High of hosts of the armies, because ye have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, that's Yasharallah, house of Ephraim, said the Most High, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment and hissing, a perpetual desolation. So Daniel is saying, I'm reading this of Jeremiah and how he's saying that the Most High is going to take the families in captivity. He saw that happen. But then he's reading his prophecies, really reading because he's fasted and he's meditating on these words. And he sees that the Most High's words said that after he bring in this Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon as a servant, he will bring them against this land and against all inhabitants thereof and against all the nations round about, and will utterly destroy them and make an astonishment. He says, moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of bridegroom and the voice of bride, the sound of millstone and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. So Daniel is studying this prophecy of Jeremiah of 70 years, and he's timing it from the time of Nebuchadnezzar. He has a time frame to position when the 70 years should be over. Ooh. So what does that say? Prophets studied prophets. The prophets studied prophets. So if you're studying prophets, then you know what prophets know. I'm gonna say that again, all right? Prophets study other prophets. And in meditation, the Most High gives them a prophecy of understanding the prophet that they study. So if you study prophets and you meditate on prophets, then you may get understanding of your own, first and foremost, of your own prophecy. And what is a prophecy? Only something that is spoken that is going to happen unto the Most High. When the Most High created you, He created your path. He created you and know what you're going to do from the beginning to the end. So if you start reading the prophets, and then the Father starts telling you how you should be speaking and how your life is going to unfold for the path that He has for you, then now you start telling people this is the path that you're on. And then you, by default, start prophesying of past prophecies and what has been shown unto you for your life. Not for everybody else. You don't have to be a prophet for everybody else. Be a prophet for yourself. Properly predict your doings that's going to be blessed or barakas by the Most High. Learn what your prophecy is and what your position is in the Father's prophecy. Because when you meditate and understand your position and what you have to do to make sure that these prophecies unveil, then you will find out that you are actually like Daniel living a prophecy, because the prophecy is that you would wake up, that these dry bones would live, that you would speak the word, that you would have the scepter, that you would remember what you had lost and what you did not know. Are you afraid of being a prophet? Or do you want to be like the heathens and just claim it and just come up with things? Look at the astrology, grab your scripture book and say, yeah, I prophesy. Do you really want to be a prophet of your life? Do you want to be prophetic in your walk? Do you want to be prophetic in your action? Do you want to be prophetic in your words? Not for everybody. Not all are ready for the commitment. Some of you, the Most High ain't asking. You're getting visions. You're getting dreams. You ain't even asked. So when we are understanding about our power, when we just take the hocus pocus away from the book and just look at the process that has been put in that is divine, the divine process that the Most High has put in, that by just walking and following Him, you are fulfilling prophecies, job descriptions, and receiving the riches and the barakas that He had already laid in your path when you realize that you are a woolly mammoth and not a weasel. When you realize that you're the woolly mammoth and not the weasel, then you realize that you are in the prophecy already and that you have no other desire. You are compelled. If you're going to walk the walk, you are fulfilling it. So, and as it says, and He had confirmed His words. I'm going to say it was written by Moses. I'm sorry. For under the whole heaven had not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem. And it is written in the law of Moshe, all this evil is come up upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Most High our power, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. And what it says, and it is written in the law of Moses, in the Torah, all this evil is come upon us. Everything that's going on in your life. You don't have to explain what's going on in your life. You don't have to get into the minutia or the details of why your life is falling, why your life is barely making it, why your life is mediocre, why you can't get people to understand you. You ain't got to explain none of that because it explains it right here. It says that all this evil is come upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Most High, because we have not turned from our iniquities, because we have not acknowledged Him. Because Stephen Colbert can go on and reference John 9:8 or whatever and act as though that they're actually caring about the Most High, regardless if they whitewash Him and make Him look like He's European, regardless if they take His words and flip it and do whatever. You're still not acknowledging that His hand is doing all these things. You make mockery, you make jokes, and yet you go sit in a synagogue or you go sit in a church on Sunday and be the hypocrite that the Most High said in scriptures they would be and we would be. Yet made we not our prayer before the Most High our power, that we might turn from our iniquity and understand thy truth, not our truth, His truth. Every man's a liar, the Most High says, unless you are regurgitating, plagiarizing His words. Therefore hath the Most High watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. Whoa. So you got no opportunity to blame a white man. So we don't know nothing about white privilege. We don't know nothing about patriots. We don't care anything about Trumpers. We don't care about Bidens because Biden is your next cop. We don't care about the UN. We don't care about Kamala Harris. We don't care about their demonocracy you call democracy. We care about the rulership and the kingdom that we follow. We are concerned about the law of the kingdom that we follow, the kingdom that we are prophets in. In their kingdom, we are niggas. We are 2/3. We are prisoners. We are slaves. But in the kingdom that the Most High has for us, we are prophets. We are daughters of Zion. We are Yahudah. We are Ephraim. We are Yasharallah, a holy royal house of people. Therefore hath the Most High watched upon the evil and brought it upon us, No one has put us in this situation but the Most High. For the Most High, our power is righteous in all his works, which he doeth. For we obeyed not his voice. Nobody else's voice that we need to listen to. And now, O Most High, our power, that has brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with the mighty hand, and has gotten thee renowned. So, us as Yasharala, who we are as a people, we came to fame only because the Most High did something he had not done before, take a people out of bondage by his own hand. That's why you have Revelations 2:9 and 3:9, only because the Most High showed his hand for us, that somebody else wanted to say that they were us so they could receive the gifts. They wanted to make everybody else be in fear of them. So they had to take the identity of somebody that the Most High showed his hand for. Those Revelations 2 and 9 is those who say they are Hebrews, but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So when we're clear that Daniel is stating here that we became popping, we was hot on the block because of your hand, because you took us up out of Egypt. Everybody wanted to follow suit. Everybody wanted to be like us. Everybody wanted to create doctrines off of us. Everybody wanted to create movies and Discovery channels and History Channel all off of us and say that the 10 tribes are lost. How, Sway? If the Most High can bring his hand down into Egypt to take us out of captivity, how would he let us get lost, Sway? Nah, Sway. The Most High ain't lost none of his. We have been renamed. We have been recategorized. We have been put back into slavery, which we will get to as a precept shortly. But understand that Daniel's saying that we are renowned because of this. As at this day, we have sinned, we have done wickedly. O Most High, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from the city of Jerusalem, the holy mountain, because of our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers. Jerusalem and thy people are become a reproach to all that are about us. So they hate us. Now, therefore, O Most High, hear the prayer of thy servant and his supplication, and cause thy face to shine upon the sanctuary that is desolate for the Lord's sake. So we saw in Jeremiah, it was prophesied that it would be desolate. Now Daniel is referencing that desolation, right? And he says, oh my, Alahaya Shu Alahaya, incline thine ear and hear. Open thine eyes and behold our desolation, and the city which is called by thy name. For we do not present our supplication before thee for our righteousness, but for the great mercies. So now Daniel say, we are not rewinding all of this because of our for our righteousness. I love this part because he's telling them, look, we are not talking about everything that has happened up until this point because of our righteousness that we did anything right. This is saying, Father, we thank you for all the mercy that you have given me. As I state all the things that I have done wrong, as I state how we have not followed you, I'm only saying all of that to say how much mercy you have given us through all of our transgressions and to not turn away from us. Ooh. And the Most High, oh, hear, oh, forgive, oh, Most High, forgive, oh, power, hearken and do, defer not for thine own sake, O my Most High. For thy city and thy people are called by thy name. And whilst I was speaking and praying and confessing my sins and the sin of my people of Yashralim, and presenting my supplication before the Most High, thy power, for the holy mountain of Allahayim. Yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in a vision, had at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time in the evening oblation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. So, after studying the prophets, he needed to get understanding for the 70-week prophecy. He outlines all of these things that we have done wrong, and we tell the Most High that we're thankful for his mercies in it. And in that, the Most High sends him an angel. Not just any angel, sends him Gabriel, archangel, right? So, in our fasting, in our acknowledging atonement, right? Atonement, acknowledging our sins, repenting, and asking him to not turn his face against us, knowing we don't deserve him to peep upon us. But if he would peep upon us, would he enlighten us? Would he strengthen us? Would he allow us to be a conqueror in his name, despite the thoughts and the actions? Because sometimes our thoughts is way worse than our actions. Let me tell you, at one time in my life, I was so stupid. As a testimony, I felt as though I had to outdo my thoughts. Because if I didn't outdo my thoughts, then I was a liar to myself. This was before I found any type of scripture. This was me living by street code. See, anything that I've been in, I embody it. Just like you. You're no different than me. So I was so caught up in the heathen way of the world. See, in my time, the swoop up was gangster. In this time, it's homosexuality for our kids. In our time, the music industry and the television industry was together. And you see a lot of videos out now that talks about how these rappers like African Boombata was molesting all the rappers that came in. You see the documentaries of Jay-Z and his cohort that he started rapping with J.O. and him saying that Jay-Z allowed the homosexuality thing to happen for him, so that's how he was able to flourish. You understand, if you know the history of hip hop, which would be the history of present day music. When you look at the history of hip hop, it is the present day music in its R&B fashion, in its rap fashion. And it started from a very humble beginnings. It started with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. It started with one groups out of New York, and then it became one guy that became the gatekeeper in that industry. And that gatekeeper was African Bombata. So it didn't matter what borough from New York you came from. It didn't matter what state you came from, nor city in the nation. If you wanted to go through the Khazarian machine that owned all the radio stations to play your music, you had to go through a group of gentlemen like African Bombata that said, in order for you to get your true iniquity and for you to get the desires of your dream to be the star that you think that you are, you have to do some strange to get some change. And that is how the industry was built into this giant thing that it is now. See, even when they came in at that time and made it about homosexuality, they didn't portray that, because the design of the Khazarians or the powers that be was to destroy the unity of the 60s that the black people were still living off of, even through COINTELPRO and the destroying of Black Panthers and great organizations such as. So they had to figure out a way to put that last nail on the coffin of the young black youth. So the first rap that came out was the message and about us coming together in the hard times and us, pride in our wordsmith and our intellect. And then that was changed to gangster rap and said that the image that black men needed to be was pants sagging with a 40 ounce with a gun. I'm telling you because I was part of it. I perpetuated it. My feelings this day, when things happen that I don't like, I have to check myself and not use that mentality that I was given and raised. I was cultivated to be this thug. I have it tattooed on my back. I was sincere about it. And it's no different than the homosexual propaganda that's going now. They just use thug then. Now it's this because now they have to they got to emasculate us because they don't want to be strong. They already destroyed our communities with men thinking that they had to kill one another. They already killed our community by saying that welfare or government assistance had to be without a man in the house. They already destroyed our community by saying that if you are arrested, you are 2/3 of a man. So that's all part of gangster rap to get us arrested, to get us to be criminalized. They had to make us ego. They had to give us this giant ego that we would let nothing stop us and we'll kill, we'll do whatever. You ain't going to get us all with charges, training day. I'm going to put a case on all of y'all. Now it has been changed to the gay agenda because now they want us to meld into the New World Order because the New World Order is Roman Greek, and Roman Greek was a homosexual society. Oh, y'all don't hear me. We think that we think that we're making decisions. We think that we are making conscious uh, calculated decisions. No, you are conscious, meaning that you are aware of your options and you are calculating the options that you believe that are available to you. And out of that calculation comes a decision. Well, let me explain to you the conscience is the same as your vote. Your conscience, they have provided you either Trump or Biden. They have provided you Trump where you are American patriot and you kick ass and you're a thug. Or they've given you corporate America, get along New World Order and Biden. And said these are the two ways that you have to be. As a youth, that is what it is. You're either going to fall in line with what your parents are telling you to do, go to school, get a good go to a good college, get you a good job so that you can have a family. That's the Biden side. The Trump side is the kid that was like me. Like, nah, I'm going to get it out the gutter. I'm not going to follow your format of doing it. I'm rebellious. But guess what? It's the same thing. When you put it into the calculation, what comes out is if I'm horrendous enough on my end, I will excel if I can miss out of jail. And on the Biden side, if I can suck up enough, if I can amalgamate, if I can take my pride and my kahunas and put them on the side and have no belief in what I am, but try to be the best European I can be, then I can now be in the calculation of some monies. When all of it is iniquity, you can say that you're choosing to be an individual, but it's an individual inside of their society, until you go into the scripture, until you go into the laws of the Most High, until you see the way to live that is totally different from these thought process, from this conscious, from this calculations of this beast system. That's why it's called being set apart. It says, whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in a vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening of oblation. And that's the time of prayer. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. So, not through a college, not through a teacher, but through the Most High, the Ruach will give you the understanding and the knowledge you need. He will give you the direction in which you need to go, right? And it says, at the beginning of thy supplication, the commandment came forth came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved, therefore understand the matter and consider the vision. So Gabriel is telling Daniel that I was commanded at the beginning of your supplication to come and show you these things because you are loved. So, wow, the angel comes down to tell man that he's loved by the Most High. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Yeah, pretty sweet. So then it says, now Daniel's getting into the thick of things. He says, 70 weeks are determined upon the people and upon the holy city to finish the transgressions and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Wow, I mean, Gabriel broke it down real quick. Like he gave us a pack full. He says, so in 70 weeks, this process of these 70 weeks is to cleanse you guys. You guys are going through this punishment. This is to cleansing of you so you can come back unto me to finish your transgressions. Remember, the number 7 in Hebrew is the number of completion. So it's 70 weeks, right? To make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy. That part, that seal up. And it says to anoint the most holy. Well, if the temple is destroyed, then what are we talking about with anoint the most holy? Now, therefore, and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto Messiah, the prince, shall be 70 weeks, and 62 weeks, and the street shall be built again, and the wall, even the troubles, even in troubles times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. Wait, y'all. It says right here that they're gonna go forth and do this for the Messiah, for the Prince, and he's gonna be cut off. Wait, let's go again. It says, now, therefore, and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto Messiah, the Prince, shall be 70 weeks. Now, there's several temples that happened, all right? I've got to bring in this little confusing part for you guys. We had our original temple, right? The original one is the one that Solomon built. Solomon's temple was sacked, right? The last time the temple was sacked was by the Romans, which is written about in Josephus, which is in 70 AD. Now, understand that when Cyrus gave the order for all Hebrews to go and rebuild the temple, there is the prophecy that is told of called the desolation, right? The abomination, desolation of abomination, right? It is it is when the Maccabees are speaking of them sacrificing the pig in the temple, and then the temple being fully destroyed. Well, what you have in the Maccabean is the end, the 70 AD. But when the temple was rededicated, right? When the temple was rededicated, which they call Hanukkah, follow me, guys. Hanukkah is their rededicating of the temple that was eventually sacked in 70 AD. I know it's confusing. A lot of people think that when the temple was sacked in 70 AD, that we rebuilt the temple, right? And that temple was this great was our house, but that's not exactly how it happened, because that temple that was sacked was Herod's temple and not our temple. The temple that Daniel is talking about, that Cyrus allowed us to come back and build, that the Hebrews, Judah would not let others be a part of building, that was a modest temple. Let me pull that up for y'all to see. So when we look at this, we're going to read this, all right? The second temple was the Jewish holy temple, which stood on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem between 516 and 70 CE, right? It gave name to the second temple period. According to the Hebrew Bible, it replaced Solomon's temple. That's what they say that looked like, which was destroyed by the Neo-Babylonian Empire 586, right? BC, when Jerusalem was conquered and part of the population of the kingdom of Judah was taken into exile into Babylon. So Daniel is part of this. When the temple was taken, Daniel is part of that group of the Neo-Babylonians that were taken into captivity. I want to be really clear about this, guys. According to the Bible, the second temple was originally a rather modest structure constructed by a number of Hebrew exile groups returning to the Levant. Whoa, what's the Levant? You guys may want to know what the Levant is. You should know what the Levant is, because the Levant was all people of color. The Levant, as you can see right here, what areas it encompassed. The Levant was all of Northeast Africa, going past Egypt, going all the way up to Asia Minor, going all the way down here through Saudi Arabia, right? The Levant. This is the dark green area is your Phoenicians. Hold on, let me make sure I got that up there big enough for you guys to see. The dark green area is your Phoenicians, is your Lebanon, right? That's Lebanon and where the Phoenicians all right up in here, right? Right in here. Africa and Iran. You're talking about Iran to your far right, right? Where my cursor is, your far right. So here, let's read right here. So it says the Levant, approximately his historical geographical term referring to a large area of eastern Mediterranean region of Western Asia. It is the northwest, it is the narrowest sense. It is equivalent to the historical region of Syria, which included present-day Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Israel, Palestine, and most of Turkey. And where are the in Revelations, the letters to the churches? The churches are all in Asia, right? Hmm. Southeast of the Middle Euphrates. In the West historical sense, the Levant included all the Eastern Mediterranean with its islands. This is, it included all of the countries along Eastern Mediterranean shore. All of the countries along the Eastern Mediterranean. So the Levant was including Greece. This is yeah, man. Before Alexander the Great, baby. This is before Alexander the Great. I don't know if they'll let me. I'm gonna. All right. So it's big enough right here. You'll see. This is Crete. This is Italy. Well, I'm sorry, Italy right here. This is Greece. This is Greece. This is Italy. All right. So we are stating that at the Daniel time that a lot of our people fled to the Levant when the kingdom of Solomon was destroyed. Many of our people traveled all the way to Greece and all surrounding areas, Asia, all the middle, as I said, countries of Levant were regions of Levant were Eastern Mediterranean places, right? So let's finish this, and it says Levant meaning um, the Eastern Mediterranean and its islands. That is, it included all of the countries along the Eastern Mediterranean shores extending from Greece to Cyrene and to East Libya. We know Libya is black people, right? We know Gaddafi and them, right? The term entered in the the term entered English in the late 15th century from the French. It derives from the Italian Levante, meaning rising, implying the rising of the sun in the east, and is broadly equivalent to the term al-Mashriq, meaning the eastern place where the sun rises. Uh-huh. So let's look at this. Y'all know what I mean by Levant people. Right here. So this is what the people of the Levant look like. So we don't have any confusion about whom we're talking about. Dreadlock Rasta is what you're looking at right there. Those would be dreadlocks right there. With the headband that is worn by Hebrews. Hebrews wore headbands with their locks. So this is what the Levant looked like. So and it says, so this is where our people left when the second was temple when the temple was destroyed. So now, as we were saying, so according to the Bible, the second temple was originally rather modest structure by a number of Jewish exiles returning to the Levant from Babylon under Archimede, right? Appointed governor Zerubbabel. However, during the reign of Herod the Great, the second temple was completely refurbished. So, in between us rebuilding our temple again, it was sacked again. And Herod, who became king of the Jews at the time, this was the temple that he created. So Herod's temple, which don't Herod look black right there, don't Herod look like a black man right there. This was Herod's temple here to the right. This was not what we came back and built ourselves, because remember, Cyrus told us to come back and build it, and we were slaves, we were dispersed. So, how could slaves come back and build this giant second temple and now be a part of Hanukkah as if we rededicate this temple? No, the second temple that we had was destroyed, was sacked again, and then you had the Greeks and the Romans take over our identity. Herod was appointed by the Romans to be the king of the Jews, and they took our identity and built themselves a temple and became the Sanhedrin. That's why when Yasha came and went to that same Herod's temple and said that you are of your father, the brood of vipers, he was explaining to them that these priests were Hasmonean priests, were Herodian priests. They were Seleucids and they were Pharisees. They were Sadducees and Pharisees. So we're looking as we are being Daniel, and Daniel is talking about the temple. I want you to be clear on what he is saying. When it says in 70 weeks we shall build our temple back, they built back that modest temple, not the Herod temple, not that Hanukkah that they are celebrating, because that was not us. All right? Because that is built to the Messiah, to the Prince, right? But then it says, unto the Messiah Prince shall be 70 weeks, and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. So they built a temple that was modest in troubling times with everyone trying to get at them. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not, it says, but after 62 weeks, that means 3 years, 2 weeks, that regular temple that we built will be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. So Daniel is speaking of the prophecy that he got from Jeremiah that said in 70 weeks we will be cleansed to our drama, and then we will be able to build again a temple unto our prince, to our savior, our Messiah, which is Yasha. We will build this temple, and then it says that it will only last for 3 years and 2 weeks, and then that's going to be cut off. And that was the desolation. That was Hanukkah. That is their celebration, the desolation of abomination, is what they call their Hanukkah, their rededication of the temple, which is not a feast day that the Most High has ordained. So, as we understand that, I know I got a little tricky there, but I really want you guys to be clear on what Daniel is saying and what prophecy came through for Daniel as he's fulfilling, as he's a part of the prophecy and he's fulfilling the prophecy. Because Daniel was the one that spoke to Cyrus and told Cyrus that he's going to go in and be victorious over the Medes, over Darius. Daniel will be the one to tell, even though he worked Darius, even though he was working for Darius, he's going to tell Cyrus, you're going to overtake these boys and you're going to allow us to build our temple. And when Cyrus comes in, he allows us to go ahead and build our capital, right? Our temple. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifices He shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Right. So I'm gonna read that from the Sefer, because that 27 is very strange the way that they have transliterated it, right? And they have transliterated it. So we're gonna go from our Sefer on that, Daniel, right quick. They did it. So Daniel 27, verse 9 reads for me, and the strength of the covenant multiplies. They have, and he shall confirm the covenant. That's why getting these other versions is so crucial. So in our separate it says, and the strength of the covenant multiplies for 1 week, and the middle of the week the sacrifice and the oblation cease, and upon the end abominations destroyed, until the consummation is determined and poured over the desolation. What that meaning is that all the sins, everything that we've done is going to be poured over that. So that temple is an abomination. That temple is going to remain an abomination because it's not of the Most High. So let's go to our Daniel 10, but we're going to go to our, got a precept right quick to that. Let's go to our precept, Deuteronomy 28, verse 66 through 68. Yeah, they don't like when I put the verse in there. That's all right. That's right. Deuteronomy 28, verse 66 speaks about the, you know, speaks about the curses and the desolation upon us. And it says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have no assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would the Most High it were even, and at evening thou shalt say, would the Most High it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. So it's saying that we will, at night, in the morning, we will ask the Most High, can he change these things? Can he do it differently? Because of the fear that shall come upon us. And in 68, and the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So in Moses, before you had a Jeremiah, before you had a Ezekiel, and then finally before you had a Daniel, you had Moses that prophesied that our people would do this again. This part of 68 speaks about after the desolation. It is speaking about once we left from the temple, the second temple being destroyed, and them taking it over and then now perpetuating themselves as Jews. We went into Africa and went to Spain and Portugal. We created lives there and were brought and were followed by the same heathen and put into captivity. Then we fled to some fled to Americas. They had fled, had some, as Daniel said, fled from afar, but been fleeing to Americas since the time of Daniel. But through our trials and tribulations, we have fled and been caught, re-put back into captivity, given new names for the new regions that they took us over in. So we were no longer Hebrews that were taken in captivity out of Jerusalem. We are now living in the south coast of Africa off the slave coast by Benin. So now we're slaves from Africa. We're now slaves of Wayuda, not Jerusalem, because now we are different tribes and different settlements. And that settlement of the area of Benin was for the tribe of Benjamin. And next to it was Yahuda, Wayuda, which they called the slave coast. Before they called it in the European book slave coast, that area was called Wayuda, which was being the river that fed into Wayuda, and part of where Yayuda was over was the river Niger, which is where they give us the name nigger, right? In Spain and Portugal, where we reigned as kings and princes and queens, we were known as Negroes. We had Yaya del Negro. Where do you think they get the? So we were taken from there and called slaves and niggers. So where we have been caught fleeing from the hand of these heathens, we have been put into their lifestyle. Christopher Columbus, Alexander the Great, the Pope, all names of colonization, Napoleon Bonaparte, all names of great colonizers, great conquerors of indigenous lands. Wherever we were, they captured us and gave us a name of that region as their new slave, new captive, even though they knew we were the same people. So Moses said, because of our stiff neck, as Daniel said, of all of our iniquities, and we have not acknowledged that you have put us in this disbursement and captivity. Moses states that in the final punishment, in the final curse, that we will be able to look back at scripture by our prophets and say the last thing that we will be able to look back on is and know that we are the people, even though we're going to be changed names, even though we're going to be captured and released and captured over many centuries, that this last prophecy of Moses would be the sign that we are his people. And it says that you will be taken into Egypt again, which is basically Mizraim, which is bondage. And that you would not, you would be your enemies, you'll be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondmaids, and no man shall buy you, that you would not be purchased out of slavery, because ancient days slavery, you could buy yourself out of slavery, but you could not in this one. And right now, we cannot buy ourselves out of slavery because we are in slavery. Why? Because you can't storm the Capitol like they can. That's why you're in slavery, in case you were confused. So let's go to Daniel 10. Yeah, Shotgun Slim, my brother. It goes down, brother. Yes, sir. Let me see what you. Scripts upon scripts. That's right, Esther. So we finish out this Daniel chapter 10, and then we're gonna get us a Psalms, and I'm gonna let you guys go because it's about studying these words for yourself and getting some understanding and some meditation. I take y'all to 11:30. Y'all can't meditate on these words. Y'all go over to sleep, and you wake up the next day, and you're back at your job, and you're back in dealing with the ills of the day. I want to make sure y'all got some time to digest these things. Except for my people on that West Coast, y'all earlier than us. Y'all get an opportunity to chop it up. You know what I'm saying? But we be ready to lay it down. So it says, in the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long. So he's got a vision, and the vision was true, but it wasn't for that time. It wasn't for that era. And he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. It says, verse 2, in those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh, nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all till 3 whole weeks were lifted. So, wow, in 9 he fasted, and then now in 10 he's fasting again. He just came out of another fast. Daniel was like, man, I know I'm in captivity. I feel you, Daniel, but I was the same way. I got to get some understanding. I got to get some answers here. I got to know. So Daniel said, I know how to get them. I fast and I pray multiple times. Don't think every time Daniel fasts and pray that he got a vision. Don't think every time you fast and pray that you're going to get some type of vision. Sometimes he just gives you strength to endure longer. Sometimes the fasting is just, without you knowing, a way to heal your body. Sometimes fasting just for you to remember whose you are and how powerful of a body he gave you. So don't come out your fastings like, well, I ain't get no sign. I wasn't told nothing. Now I don't know what it is. Remember, at the last one and at this one, Daniel don't get his prophecies till after he's completed his fast, not during. It says, I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And in the 24th day of this month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz. Now, so Daniel's completed his fast. He's not even in meditation. He's not even in a private location. He's at the river. And a vision comes to him. His body was also like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision. Whoa! I told you he was in an open place. He wasn't in meditation, but because his body was in tuned, because he had been fasting, because he had been praying, because he was anointed, because it was already a lifestyle that the heavenly bodies are able to appear to him at any time. Ooh. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, and the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Therefore, I was left alone. That's what we're going to have to be right now, Yehuda. You're going to have to realize that your visions going to be your visions. The spirit and the message that the Most High going to give you going to be yours. And you're going to have to walk out on that. And you're going to have to deal with people not understanding your walk. You're going to have to be okay with people not being okay with you. You're going to have to be okay with people not being okay with your walk. But what you're going to have to get right, is getting your walk right with the Most High. That part you're going to have to do, or you're going to fall like everybody else into the iniquities, into these COVIDs, and into these problems. Yes, it's going to come around you. You're going to smell the issues of this world. You're going to see a couple of things. But the Most High is going to cover you like you got your kid, your 13-year-old son, at his first PG-13 movie, and they show a little something. You trying to cover his eyes. You know, he's seen a little bit, right? We're going to see a little bit, right? We're going to see a little bit of these trials and tribulations, these pestilence that the Father has put forth. But we're going to be comforted if you're walking your walk and not being concerned if people like your walk or if they're going to like you in your new skin, in your new shoes. It says, therefore, I was left alone, and I saw this great vision, and there remained no strength in me, for my comeliness, my beauty, was turned in me into corruption. I retained no strength. Your boy say, my face got contorted. I got scared. I was, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Yet heard I the voice of his words. And when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face and my face toward the ground. Whoa. So when you hearkened unto the Most High, you were taken away from this world. When you decided to listen and focus on him, he put you in a whole different position. Not only did he put you in a position, he put you in a position of peace and a position of rest. Whoa. Could that be a metaphor? I'm sure it is. It says that I was trembling, my face was contorted, all my boys ran. But when I got out of my flesh and I listened to the voice of the words, and when I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep. When I heard the voice of his words, then I was in a deep. When I heard the voice of his words, then was I in a deep sleep on my face and my face toward the ground. Placed there, real gentle like, by the Most High. And behold, and a hand touched me, which set me up on my knees and upon the palms of my hand, the palms of my hand. That's right, let them shout. Y'all got, that's right, real Teflon Don, right? And he said unto me, O Daniel, a man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak unto thee, and stand upright, and I said, stand upright, for unto thee am I now sent. And when he had spoken these words unto me, I stood trembling. Then said he unto me, fear not. Like, brother, we just laid you down on the ground. We reset this whole scene, right? I came out the sky. I know I'm an all barrel. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like something you ain't never really seen before. I know I shook you, but then you listened to me. We laid you down. Calm down, dude. This is all good. We in the building, right? And it says, yeah, see my man Wade County? Yeah. And so it said, thy words we heard, for I am come. It said, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day, it said, fear not, Daniel, from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before the Most High, thy words were heard Man, you need to be standing up on your seat like Tom Hanks on an Oprah Winfrey show, because it says for us that as soon as we set our mind towards the Most High, before we start fasting, before we start praying, before we start meditating, when we first make the decision in our mind, body, and soul to set our face towards Him, that what He did, He said, the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before the Most High, thy words were heard. So before you even fasted, before you got the gumption to come up with fasting, before you heard the term fasting, when you decide to set your eyes upon the Most High, He brought forth to you the thing that He needed you to do to come to Him, which is the fasting. See, when you make the decision that you want to rock with the Most High, He's there. They're listening because He's waiting on us. The Most High and His Son is waiting on us, nobody else. You ain't got to go call nobody. You ain't got to get your boys in on it. You ain't got to get your girl in on it. You ain't got to get your mom in on it. You ain't got to get your daddy, grandma, none of them people. You got to get your mind first dedicated, because in Matthew 24, Yasha said, let your yea be a yea and your nay be a nay, because he was doing away with the laws of Levitical that said that if you made a vow, that you had to now come to before the offering and sacrifice an animal to be cleansed for breaking your vow to the Most High. Yasha, his son, came and said, look, from the time you make a decision, we cutting out the priest, you cutting out all of that. So now you got a direct link. So the time that you decide that you want to rock with us, we here on and popping. But make sure your nay is a nay and your yay is a yay, because your words is power here. You're in the kingdom where when you speak it, it can come to existence. So make sure you clear about what you're asking for, because you're going to get it. Be clear about what you're asking for, because it's going to come to you. It may not come to you on a silver platter like you want. It may come to you in a lesson, because you need to learn something. Nobody wants to hear that, but it's a lesson that you need to learn, so you're not getting what you want. You're not seeing what's stopping you from your greatness. You're not understanding what is being the thing that's holding you back from receiving what you think is right in front of your face that's attainable. Most times I'm going to show it to you. But you're going to have to be righteous enough to receive it. That you're going to have patience in me and know that when I give it to you, it's not going to be upon your words. It's not going to be upon your desires. It's going to happen to where you're going to know that I made it happen for you. This ain't no walk for no soft people, because soft people are mealy mouthed. They say things and then, oh, I can't have that. That's too much for me. Man, my Most High, no, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't serious about that. That ain't what this walk for. This walk ain't for lukewarm people. It ain't for your Bible thumpers that ain't got nothing but words behind them. They ain't got no actions. They ain't got no sacrifices behind what they saying. That ain't fasting. That's talking about the law is done away with. That they can call upon some punk named Jesus, some fool named Allah, some dumb named Mohammed, some honorable stupid ass human being, some ideology that they created, and that's gonna forgive them when they was never serious in the beginning. It's gonna forgive them when they was a fool from the beginning. Forgive them when they was full of iniquity from the start. See, no, this walk is for the hard heads. This walk is for the ones that don't believe that they are sheep, that know they ain't no damn sheep. The ones that got that spirit in them of no bow, won't bow down, when you got that spirit of, I can't bow down, I won't bow down, I don't know who you are, where you are, but what I have been created to do, I can unleash a world of hell if you try to kill me. Well, then how about unleashing a world of heaven upon your brothers and sisters? How about unleashing the wrath of the Most High with tender mercies and grace and love and righteousness? How about uplifting that upon people instead of threatening them with your hate or threatening them with your devouring or threatening them with your ability to hurt them? How bad is you? Is you bad enough to show somebody love and put your hands behind your back and let them smack you and say, you know what? My Most High made me tough long. You can keep on, but He gonna touch you if you keep on hitting me. Oh, He gonna touch you if you keep on touching me. It ain't nothing to scream. It ain't nothing to pull a gun out. It ain't nothing to raise your hands and smack them. It ain't nothing. Controlling your temper, controlling your tongue, subduing your passions. That's where the real ones live. That's where the prophets live. That's where the chosen live. That's where the set apart, the Kodashim, the Yahudim, that's where they live. If you understand the simple laws of energy, that energy doesn't disappear. The energy can only move. So if I'm subduing the energy from being beaten or talked about or lambasted or embarrassed, if I'm subduing those passions of striking out upon them, and I am mentally, physically, and spiritually building that ball of energy and praying and unleashing righteousness in my words and standing like a sturdy oak when I release them and giving them in love, I have gotten more power by the Most High because I did it in His reflection. He is testing me by putting this in front of me, and I am answering it in the manner that He would answer. So, therefore, this energy that's in front of me is blown into smithereens, whether they realize it or not, because my kingdom isn't in their world. My reward isn't in their world. So what they think is a victory, they won't see it because they are confused. They will walk away thinking they won, but then something will hit them like in the movie of Kill Bill called the five palm technique, right? You hit them, pa, 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 and they walk away and don't realize they're dead until 10 minutes later. Hmm. Hmm. Energy don't die. That's a fact. So when you're standing on your rock and the adversary is telling you that you can't, you're foolish or you, whatever, when you stand there and not return their ignorance into them, and you are able to subdue your passions, that energy, that passion, that anger doesn't go anywhere. You channel it. Now you channel that into a prayer where your mind, body, and spirit is on one accord. Anybody that's been in any voodoo or any dark spirits, you fully understand when you're about conjuring, that's what you need. You know that's a fact that if you're going to conjure anything, you need something physical, you need something spiritual, right? You need some things, right? Well, all of that is in the energy that you hold back for righteousness. You're doing the same thing. You're conjuring when you are being of righteousness, when you are allowing the devil to come at you and you're only giving him the good. That energy you're storing up, you are molding that. You're conjuring your prayer unto the Most High. You're conjuring his response as Daniel got, as you will get. He says, and understand and to chasten thyself before the Most High. Thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. So not only was Daniel's words heard, but this angel has been brought to come and do the words that he ordained. So, like a spell, right? When you're calling upon an evil spirit to come and bring vengeance upon someone or do something upon someone, just like the thing I dream a genie and a genie comes out and the genie says, I give you 3 wishes because you have my power. It is the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Daniel, the angel is telling him that, yo, your prayers, because of your supplication to our creator, I'm here to do your bidding that you sent. So let's get to these conjuring prayers, right? So he said, thy words were heard. I am come for thy words. But then in 13 it says, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me on withstood me 1 and 20 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, the archangel, came to help me, and I remained there with the king of Persia. So hold up. An angel is being held up by a king? Y'all with me here. Daniel has conjured up his angel. The Most High has said that your supplication is acceptable. I'm going to send one of my supernatural soldiers to do your bidding. Now the supernatural soldier comes and says, look, I would have been here earlier. I don't want you to think that the Most High didn't hear your prayers. I know for 3 weeks you was in supplication and prayer, and I didn't get here till now. Right? But I don't want you to hold that against the Most High and think that the Most High didn't hear your prayers. He heard it from the first time you came. I got caught up with these demons. I was in a fight, and I had to get my other angel to come and help me in this fight so I could get to you because the demon knew I was coming to answer your prayers. Now you think the king of Persia was an angel? He was a fallen angel. Yes, he was half human. That's why they believe in deity. That's why they want to make you believe in the Jesus thing, because they come from believing in half men, half deities. Remember, Xerxes says that he was a god. That was the Persian king, Xerxes. He said he was a god. And now you have the angel telling you that I had to get another angel to help me fight this demon that's in the body of the king of Persia. That's a big thing to understand, that these kings are possessed by demons. So when we tell you that we can't follow these demonocracies, we're talking about demon governments. The Persian was a government. Daniel's angel was held up by the chief prince of Persia, a demon. Y'all with me, right? So it says, now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in thy latter days. For yet the vision is of many days. So he's telling Daniel, look, man, things you're asking about is many days, right? This is a whole book that the Most High wrote out. So the ones you got, the visions you got is for the end. And it says, and when he has spoken such words unto me, I set my face towards the ground, and I became dumb. Yeah. And behold, one like the similitude of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth. So the angel was like in a looking like a human being. He came and touched my man's lips and spake and said unto him that stood before me, O my Lord, by the vision my sorrows are turned unto me, and I have retained no strength. Like my Lord, I'm tired. Like what I done seen right here. You telling me I just saw that the Persian God that I'm dealing with, the Persian king, is an actual demon? And now you're telling me that the angels will have to double up to beat this demon, and I'm in this flesh, and I gotta fight this flesh slash demon? You think that you're dealing with something with America, that you're dealing with something with the UN? You think you're dealing with something with the United States and Trump and Biden? Daniel was dealing with half demons and half humans. They say we deal not with flesh, but principalities, right? So, so Daniel is dealing with this principality. He's shook. So now the angel is saying, you tell the angel, I'm shook by all these things I've seen. And he says, for how, oh, excuse me. It says, so, for how can the servant, said, for how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? He says, for how can the servant of this my Lord talk with this my Lord? As for me, straightway, thee remain no strength in me, neither is there breath left in me. So the boy is saying, how can I talk to you, man? Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of man, and he strengthened me. Ooh, and said, O man greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto thee. Be strong, yea, be strong. So you got several angels that's coming to my man Daniel. Like, look, man, look, I know this is real. You prayed for it, you asked for it, your people need you. I'm gonna need you to stand up. We're gonna give you the strength. Whoa. So the most high angels can give us the strength by a touch. Y'all don't believe in angels? Y'all don't believe in the spirits that these winter solstice and all these blood drinking, bloodletting people are doing? You think Halloween just is really for shits and giggles? You really think that? You really think that it's just about looking like an animal? It's just a little fun thing for kids? Are you that naive as an adult? Understanding what you're reading about true demons, principalities. And my brother Shotgun Slim is in the building. And if you want somebody to show, I'm sure my brother Shotgun Slim has seen some things as he's walked on that other side. I'm sure if you like, he would let you know that there's some real dark figures on the other side. So if there's dark figures on the other side, there's nothing but light over here. As my brother says, I'm about that light. This this we have to understand that if you believe in the Most High, you got to believe that there's a dark side too. And if you believe in the dark, then you got to know that there's a light. You know what I'm saying? So he was given strength, right? And he strengthened him and said, O man greatly beloved, fear not, peace be unto thee, be strong, yea, be strong. And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened and said, let my Lord speak, for thou hast strengthened me. Then he said, knowest thou whereof I come unto thee? Do you know why I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. So now, even though, and I want y'all to really wrap your head around this part, as the Most High has prophesied all these things happening, all these different kingdoms coming to fruition. As we understand these kingdoms having to come to fruition, that the Most High, when He created the world, created the earth, created Adam, that He had a whole script written, right? And as you see, even as this is written, the Most High is applying His angels to help us in our battle through this. Like he hasn't forsaken us, that he hasn't given us guidelines or guardians to help us. So as the angels are going back to fight Persia, he tells Daniel that the spirit of Greece is coming. So when we look at our chart of Persia going down to the next kingdom being Greece, this is the he goat that we're talking about, which is the Baphomet. The Greece is represented by the he goat, by the Baphomet, and it is also represented as being a part of Rome because Greece and Rome became one. And then that dynasty took over all the Americas and became the last dynasty, which is iron and miry clay. The iron is the mix of Rome and Greece. The miry clay is all the indigenous cultures, all these different cultures that make up this world of the Roman Catholic Church, right? So as Daniel is saying, I am going forth, and lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. So he's letting him know that the devil, the Baphomet, is coming. He said, but I will show thee that which is noted in the scripture of truth. And there is none that holdeth with me in these things but Michael your prince. So he's saying that there are no other angels that's in this fight but the one that's ordained by the Most High, me and Michael. The rest of these supernatural spirits, the rest of these gods, these half deities that everybody's praying to in all these nations around you, that ain't us. They are not rocking with us. They are not of truth. Ooh. Let's go to Psalms. We're going to do a oldie but goodie. We're going to revisit Psalms 91 that was brought to me today. We read that before. We had the opportunity for Esther and Ty to come up with Psalms for us. They came up with Psalms 91. But this is what we need right now in dealing with all of this false angels and all these spirits that are out here, knowing that we are covered through our fasting and our prayer, that we can put out demons through fasting and through prayer, that we can put out our own demons, and we can call upon our supernatural spirits to do our bidding, all through fasting and praying. Then it says, 91, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So right now, off top, we saying clearly that the people that hide the great places, the secret places, the supernatural realm that we can't see, all of them abide by the Almighty Shaddai, right? I will say of the Most High, he is my refuge and my fortress and my power. In him will I trust. I will say of the Most High, he is my refuge and my fortress and my power. In him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. So surely he's going to save us from the noisy pestilence. The pestilence is this coronavirus. The pestilence is this transfer of power, storming of the Capitol. That's pestilence. The pestilence is our people trying to get us vaccinated in our community, our jobs trying to reconfigure us. Everyone needs to be figuring out how to be an entrepreneur in this hour, how to take the talent that the Most High has given you and figuring out how to monetize that talent. The Most High gave you the talent not for you to be singing in the shower. He didn't give you the talent to be breaking numbers to try and run licks. He didn't give you the talent of caring for people, knowing how to be a nurse for you to do it for other people. He is giving it to you so that you can excel and make it your business. If you are Florence and Nightingale, then you should be making soaps and herbs and trying to figure out how to heal through the Most High and what He has provided. You don't have to call it voodoo because that's what the market is for herbs. No, you stand on who the Most High is because everybody's going to be looking for righteousness. And yes, everything they do in the voodoo world, all in our roots community, came from the Most High, came from us as Hebrews. It is time for us to take back who we are. And that's not just claiming our name as Hebrews from the Caucasians. It's not just claiming our spiritual royalty from the Catholics and the Ishmaelites and the Farrakhan's and false prophets. It's going into our own roots community and saying, yo, that ain't voodoo, that ain't devil, that ain't divination, that came from the one true creator. And yes, I'm going to show you how I work with these roots that the Most High is showing me. Let me, let me, let me tell you about alchemy that came from the Most High. So learn how to benefit from the earth and the herbs that he's put on this earth. If you are into healing and taking care of people, if you are a nurturing human being, if you're a marketing person, then you need to figure out how you can help these people in our community get their word out. That's your business. If you're a mouthpiece, that's your talent. If you sing, you box, you dance, whatever your talent is. If you're a teacher, that's what it is. Learn how to monetize what your talent is. In this hour. And it says, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and Yah Shawah, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His trust shall be thy shield and buckler. He says, so his truth shall be our shield and buckler, means our weapons. His truth is our weapon. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night. As my dad called him. Not thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, because we got covering, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at that right hand, but it shall not come to me. I don't care what they're going through out there. I don't care how many times they bring you to the magistrate. I don't care how many times they try to take you to the doctor. These things will not fall upon us. Do you believe it? Are you a prophet? Are you walking the walk that has a covering? Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Most High, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. We are making our habitation in the Father, that's following him, that's being in the walk. There shall no evil befall thee, therefore shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. It says that because you're following the Most High, ain't no disease gonna come near your dwelling. Now, people that come in and out of your dwelling, they may have caught it, they may have it, they may be susceptible to it because they ain't in order. Don't be surprised when people are dying around you. Just because they're a nice person don't mean they're in order. Just because they're a nice person don't mean they're in order. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, and keep thee in all thy ways. Thou shalt bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. You say, what? They shall bear thee up in their hands, unless they'll be dashed thy foot against with a stone. And what is dashed against the foot? The Nebuchadnezzar, right? When it says dashed by the foot, but with a stone, that's what happens to Nebuchadnezzar. All kingdoms fall when the rock smashes their feet. So in our Psalms, it is saying, thou shalt, it said, thou shalt tread up, yes, thou shalt bear thee up in their hands, means that you're going to exalt us. It means that you're going to acknowledge that Judah has the scepter and you're going to follow us as the entire world, all heathens, all Gentiles, everyone will have to follow Yasharala because we have the truth. And it says that if they don't lift us up by their hands, they shall be dashed by their foot against, their foot shall be dashed against a stone. That means they're going to fall. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder. So they said that you will walk upon the lion and the snake, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. That's the power he's given us because he has set his love upon me, upon you, upon us. Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he had known my name. Yeah, Richie name. Yeah. Aaron's name, Isaiah's name, Logan's name, Esther's name, Koti Tamar's name, he knows Yawan's name, he knows Ty's name, he knows all of y'all, he knows Shotgun Slim's name, he knows my brother Way Up Rob's name, he knows Ron Green's name, he knows Jeanette Clark's name, he knows our name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and I will honor him. Most High said he's going to call y'all going to call upon me in your time of need. And I got you. He says, with long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Mm-mm-mm. I said I wasn't going to hold y'all till 11:30 because I want y'all to be able to read these words. Well, it's 11:19, 11:20, 10 minutes early. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I tried my best. Most High says, speak on it. So I want y'all to understand that, man. Just enjoy the fact that when you call upon him, when you supplicate yourself unto him, when you acknowledge your transgressions unto him, you ain't being weak, you standing strong. Because once he knows it, nobody else can make you feel any type of way about your transgressions. Nobody else can make you feel small. Nobody else can make you feel like you ain't powerful. Because the person that can give you power, you've already had the conversation with, you've already walked the walk, you already fashioned yourself, you already know what you have to do to get right with him. And everybody else is just blowing in the wind. Blowing in the wind. So with that said, I'm gonna let y'all go tonight. All praise unto the Most High. I pray that you guys look back over this Daniel 9 and 10 and looking at this 91 Psalms and truly understand what Daniel was doing. A lot of people run away from the prophecies because of how they explain everything, the animals and all of this. But thank you, Esther, for saying wonderful lessons. Yes, yes. I let y'all know. Esther let me know every night if I'm in my mind, if I got it right or not. So I'm all praises. She already let me know. That might also mean she ain't going to call me after the show because she going to bed. It could be either one. But she definitely let me know that we did good tonight on the lesson, right? So all praises. But understand that our salvation is in the Most High, that we are a conqueror of all things, that when we give it unto him, that he will send his angels to us to aid us and to abet us in this. So we give all praises. Love y'all, man. And I'll keep on fighting the fight, one foot in front the other, and he will strengthen you. Even if it's just to put one foot down the next day. Hey, it's okay. I got another foot in and I'm good. Sometimes that's all we need. We don't need to see the whole picture. We don't need to see the end of the story. We just need to know that we are written at the end and that there's a reward for us. Right now, we just need to put that one more foot in front of us. Just that one more day. And do it with joy, do it with love, and see it return unto you. All right, guys. See y'all soon.